Still trying to get your soul saved. Give praise, esteem, and honor to Yahuwah Elohim, Bahashem Yahusha. Y'all know what it is, man. Go ahead.
Search the scriptures, if any of you think you have eternal life, and they will testify of me. You will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I am come in my Father's name, and you receive me not. Another should come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe will receive honor one of another? Not the honor that cometh from Elohim only.
Alright. Go ahead.
Do not think I will accuse you to the Father.
Don't think.
The one that accuses you, even Moses in whom you trust.
Whom you trust.
For ye have believed in Moses, you would have believed in me, for he wrote of me.
He wrote.
But if you believe not his writings, how shall you believe my words?
Cool. Pray the Lamb. Exodus 25:8. Let me ask y'all a question, right? Ark of the Covenant. What's on it? Does anybody know? What say what? Yeah, they on that. What else is on it?
Mercy seat.
Mercy seat. What is the mercy seat? What does the mercy seat represent?
I thought it was the throne of Elohim.
It's the throne of Elohim. It ain't a symptom. It is the throne of Elohim.
Yeah.
See, now we hit something last night.
I was saying because it ain't.
Yeah. And I didn't go into great detail on it, and we probably gonna have to hit the word right now. What's inside the Ark of the Covenant? The 2 tables of stone. What's the word for table? Does anybody remember the word for table? It is luach, and that's the because the mercy seat is actually on the Ark of the Covenant. It's actually above it. It's actually constructed above it with the 2 cherubims covering the seat. You want me?
Everybody want to sit at the back of the bus.
Everybody know they got on the back of the bus in school. Nobody want to sit behind the bus, right?
I'm back here. I'm an assistant, so I got to be in the back.
I know.
I'm an assistant, so I can't hear because there's a lot of noise back here, and y'all be talking low.
Which one is it? Turn the seats on.
No, I mean I picked this because of these seats right here. But just give me a moment. My voice gonna crank up. I'm gonna crank it up for you.
It ain't just you. We'll be talking low too. I really struggle to hear everybody else moving around this room. It's really like, oh my God.
She said she gotta put some bass in your voice. Say when you cracking jokes, you loud. I got you though. I can't speak for him. I crank it up a little bit for you though. I crank it up for you. But the mercy seat, right? You know what them cherubims is? They cover the mercy seat with their wings. The mercy seat is above the ark. That's why, matter of fact, since I said that, go to get me Hebrews chapter 4. Give me 4 and 12. I'll show you why this says what it says. I already know y'all know I move pretty quickly, but I might a little more. You out here with your bare arms out? Who you trying to catch?
A cold?
Hey, you trying to catch a cold? Ain't nobody tell you put that wool dress on? Ain't nobody tell you to put that wool dress on? Boy, Hezekiah, boy, you around here trying to catch you one already?
Pulling covers.
You too young for that. What you been showing? What you been letting that boy watch? You around here pulling covers. He trying to pull. He trying to be a Benjamite, trying to catch him a wife on the hill. He trying to catch him a wife on the hill. Doggone Eugene. That's what he said. That's why. It look like little Eugene. Gene. He has to do. That's my dog though. 4 and 12. Look here, man. Just because he look like you don't mean you can talk to him like that.
It says, for the word of Elohim is quick and powerful and sharper than a 2-edged sword.
Yep.
Piercing even to the dividing asunder of ruach and soul.
Yep.
And to the joints and marrow is the discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart.
Yep.
Neither is there any creature that is not manifest in his sight.
Yep.
But all things are naked and open unto the eyes.
See, that's the thing, right? I asked all them questions earlier why you ain't got the ruach, but you better believe you butt naked in front of him, though. According to that law, why you butt naked? Because of sin. And because you should know that automatically you read that, you should think about Adam and Eve. They sinned, made them butt naked, they were exposed. Remember the law tell you in Exodus 32, you expose them and make it naked before their enemies because they committed adultery. You know that when you commit sin, you butt naked. That's why he say, watch, lest you be found naked and you don't got your garments on. You don't want to be caught not ready, unprepared. You know the statement, lack of preparation leads to piss poor performance. If you don't properly prepare yourself to meet your Elohim, ain't no last minute. Ain't no last minute. Ain't no, I believe in Jesus Christ on my deathbed. You still going to hell. It's good for you. I'm glad you believe. Good for you. That's how you feel about it. Good for you. You had 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years to show me you believed in me. You failed. Y'all know what that book say. The devils believe and tremble. And what? Well, where your execution at? Come on.
Come on.
Well, get your feet out there, boy. You ain't on no beach, boy. That's how they be posing in them swimsuit issues. Oh, that's right. Go on to sleep, man. It makes you comfortable.
It says, seeing then that we have a great high priest that is passed into Shamahim, Yahushua the son of Elohim, let us hold fast our profession.
Let us hold fast what?
Our profession.
If you profess it, why don't you keep it close then? Come on.
For we have not a high priest which cannot be touched with the feelings of our infirmities, but was in all points tempted like we are, yet
like as
without
what?
sin.
Like without sin.
Let us therefore boldly unto the throne of grace.
The throne of what?
Throne of grace.
Throne of what?
Grace.
And grace is what word? Did anybody remember what word it is? And what is that? It's a separated seed. You don't realize that that throne of Elohim is a separated seed? Because Elohim separate, that's why you got a separate throne. Go ahead though. It's going to come to the throne of what?
Of grace.
In the time of what?
That we may obtain mercy.
Obtain who?
Mercy. And find grace to help in the time of need.
Why do you think he called it the mercy seat? You know what I'm saying? Because that's the throne of mercy you got to come to. Exodus 25 and 8.
It says, and oil for the light, and spices for anointing oil, and for sweet incense, and onyx stones and stones to be set in the ephod for a breastplate. Yeah. And every wise hearted among you shall come and make all that Yahuwah have commanded. And the tabernacle, his tent, and his covering, and his taches, and his boards, and his bars, and his pillars, and his sockets. The ark, and the staves thereof, with the mercy seat, and the veil of the covering. And the table, and the staves, and all his vessels. We had 13.
Go ahead.
And the shewbread, the candlestick also for light, and his furniture, and his lamps with the oil for the light, and the incense altar and his staves, and the anointing oil, and the sweet incense, and the hanging for the door at the entering of the tabernacle.
Go ahead.
The altar of burnt offerings with his brassen grate, his staves, and all his vessels, the laver, and his foot. The hangings of the court, and his pillars, and their sockets.
25.
You said Exodus.
Yeah, you're 25?
Yeah.
Well, I ain't heard verse 60.
35.
Yeah, I know you was. I know I wasn't tripping.
Y'all let me ride 60.
Yeah, because I'm sitting there looking at it. I don't see none of this stuff. What are you talking about? Yeah, I need 25 and 8. Yeah, I'm like, it sounded close. But that wasn't what I was looking for right there. Because I'm waiting on verse 16. I'm like, that nigga ain't said it yet.
It do sound the same. That's crazy.
I mean, it's pretty much the same. He just telling them the same thing twice. It's just a little different variations. 25 and 8 though.
It says, and let them make me a sanctuary that I may dwell among.
Let them make a what?
A sanctuary.
A what?
A sanctuary.
What's a sanctuary? We read about the sanctuary last night, didn't we not? Let's read it again. Hebrews 9 and 1.
It said, then verily the first covenant had also ordinance of divine service in a worldly sanctuary. For there was a tabernacle made, the first, wherein was the candlestick, and the table, and the shewbread, which is called the sanctuary.
Where's that place that he mentioned that's called the sanctuary? Where is that located at? It's in the temple, but it's the most separate or sacred place of them all. It's the inner veil, the Kadesh of Kadesh. Because look what he said is stated in it. Not Jerusalem, but the actual. Remember, because he said that Yahushua was what? Sanctuary made of Yahuwah without hands. Do you know what I'm saying? The inner place, because what's in that inner place is certain things. It's Aaron rod that budded, it's the shewbread, it's the Ark of the Covenant. And he told you to make you a what? Come back to Exodus 25, see what he told you to make.
He said, and they will make an ark of shittim wood.
Now read verse 8 again.
Okay, let them make me a sanctuary that I may dwell among them.
So he said you need to make you an inner sanctum for him to dwell at. And what is that? We talked about it last night. What will you put in that inner sanctum? You got to put the Ark of the Covenant in there. Anybody remember what that word is for ark? It would be Aron, which is what? It's the Aleph and the Rosh and the U and the Nun, or the strength of the head of the sacrifice that brings forth life. No, no, ain't no Hayden. Because it's spelled, in English, it's spelled A-R-O-W-N. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's the same. Aaron's name is the same. He's got an H in it, which would just be behold.
Yeah, they pretty much pronounce the same. Yeah, they just not spelled the same. Now, you're not off. They just not spelled the same. So you think about that, right? Then you got the luach inside of the strength of the head that sacrificed to life. Then you got the teaching of the separated sacrifice inside of that, which is pointing to Yahushua. He told you you need to make you a sanctuary of the same token for you to dwell in, so he can dwell in you. So in order for him to dwell in you, you're going to have to know about the sacrifice that leads to life and the strength that comes from it. Go ahead, sir. Continue reading Exodus 25.
It says, and I may dwell among them, according to all that I show thee after the pattern of the tabernacle, and the pattern of all the instruments thereof, even so shall you make it.
Got to be made just like the pattern. You can't deviate. Go ahead.
And they shall make an ark of shittim wood, 2 cubits and a half shall be the length thereof, and a cubit and a half the breadth thereof, and a cubit and a half the height thereof. And thou shalt overlay it with pure gold, within and without thou shalt overlay it. And thou shalt make upon it a crown of gold round about. And thou shalt cast 4 rings of gold for it, to put them in the 4 corners thereof, and 2 rings shall be on the one side, and 2 rings shall be on the other side of it. And thou shalt make staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold. And thou shalt put the staves into the rings by the sides of the ark, and the ark may be borne with them. And the staves shall be in the rings of the ark, and they shall not be taken from it. And thou shalt put it into the ark of the testimony which I shall give thee.
Pause. You see how he told him? He gave the instruction. The law say that's what's got to be inside that ark. So guess what's got to be inside you? That word of that testimony that he's given. Let's pause and let's go get Revelation 19 and 9. See, that's the importance again of going back to why I told you this right here, right? If the word is inside of you and you are inside of the word, then you should be automatically able to identify those who are of Elohim instantly. You should be able to identify them. If you can't identify that person, it's because it's not inside of you. How do we know this? Before you even read what I asked you to read, which was what? Revelation 19 and 9. Give me John chapter 17 and probably about verse 24. And after John 17 and 24, 1 John 3 and 1. And 24, yes ma'am. Make it 23.
It said, I and them and thou and me, that they may be made perfect in one. That the world...
See how he told it? I and you, and them and me. So the world may know what?
That the world may know that thou hast sent.
That's why I say that, because guess what? If the word is in you and you in the word, then the world would know that Yahuwah has sent Yahushua to be the savior of the world. They would know this. But listen to the next thing he say.
And thou hast loved them, and thou hast loved me. Father, I will that they also whom thou hast given me be with me where I am.
Yep.
That they may behold my esteem which thou hast given me, for thou lovest me before the foundation of the world.
Yep.
O righteous Father, the world have not known thee.
The world is not what?
Known thee.
The world is not what?
Known thee.
What up?
But I have known thee. And these have known that thou hast sent me.
Pause. I want to ask y'all a question. What did Mashiach say about the Ruach of truth and the world? What did he say about it? It can't receive it. Why does the world? Why do you believe the world can't receive it? It's not. And you know why it's not for them? Because they don't have a love for the truth, and they love unrighteousness. So he can't dwell there. See, remember he told you to what? He told you to make a sanctuary, and then when you make that sanctuary, get this ark and put this covenant inside of it. You know what I'm saying? So the resting place for Yahuwah has to be made. Then the holding place for that ark has to be placed into that sanctuary, and then place my word inside that ark, inside of that sanctuary. See, before you get me 1 John 3 and 1, go on get him 2 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 16. See, then this goes back to creating a, remember we read that in Job? He said you'll have a tabernacle, you visit the habitation, and sin won't be there. And why was the sin not going to be there? Because he said you would fall in 6 troubles, even 7, and Yahuwah would deliver you from them all. Which goes back to the taking on the sufferings of Mashiach, which makes that sacrifice which leads to life for the ark, or the teaching of a separated sacrifice for the tables. Because that's how that sanctuary, you know, there had to be a sacrifice made amongst the people just to get the temple built. When we were looking at all the kings, we didn't go through Solomon's escapades to get that temple built. And the sacrifices financially and physically that the whole nation of Yasharal had to make to get that temple built. You know what I'm saying? Because they offered up their own money to get this temple built. They offered their own labor to get this temple built. They made a sacrifice to get this temple built. It was David's vision to get it built, and Solomon was commissioned with building it, and all the people had a participation in getting it built. So if you look at you think a structure of that size, which is built on, you think y'all just rain down a whole bunch of money and say here, and a whole bunch of material and say here, this is what you need to build it? These people made sacrifices to get this done. They made free will offerings, the tithe, all of these things these people did to get this done, along with their own labor. Along with their own labor. They put their own hands to the till to get this built. The only people who wasn't getting taxed was Yasharal, because the strangers were getting taxed to get that built. But we'll deal with that in the future time, because I know that's a long process when you talk about that temple getting built. That even with the ark, and then even when they rebuilt the temple during the time of Nehemiah, Darius and whatever you want to call him, or Cyrus, whichever name you choose to use, he told all them people to give money to the builders to assist them in getting it built. He gave a decree throughout his whole province that you give them workers the money that they need to get this built. You give them whatever they need to get this built. And everybody out the captivity came forth and made offerings and sacrifices to get this built. And they put, you see it in the book of Nehemiah, they say you ain't got no part with us in the building of this right here. Y'all need to go somewhere. This is our duty and our job to do so. So you have to look at it that way. It's your duty and your job for that sanctuary to be built, for him to dwell in it. If you choose not to build it, that's on you. 2 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 16.
They saying, what agreement have the temple of Elohim with idols? For ye are the temple of the living Elohim, as Elohim has said, I will dwell in them, I will walk in them, and I will be the Elohim.
Now see, pause. That goes into what she was mentioning earlier. What agreement does the temple of Elohim have with idols? If you say you the house of Elohim, what agreement do you have with sinners and transgressors? Ain't no, and look here, right? I ain't talking about niggas who don't claim to be in the faith, because that's a given. If you don't claim to be in the faith, that you a transgressor and a sinner. That's a given. But we talking about even niggas who claim it. Because what did Paul say about a man that don't take care of his own household? He has denied the faith and is worse than an infidel. You think, again, with this letter right here, you think he writing this letter to people who don't believe? This is a letter to people who believe. That's why he said, how you going to have fellowship? He said, how you going to sit back and tell me you a godly man or woman and you want to have fellowship with Belial? You going to tell me Mashiach in you and you want to marry Belial? That's what you telling me? Paul said, that's just outrageous. So you mean to tell me you light and they darkness, and guess what, a nigga? I want to shine light on them. Nigga, light don't shine in darkness. Nigga, light eliminates darkness. You ain't never seen no light shine in no darkness unless you was walking around with a flashlight. And even still, wherever that light went at, the darkness eliminates and is removed from that particular space where that light shines. This is why Mashiach say they don't come to the light, because they hate the light. Y'all know what it is. If there's some roaches in here right now and cut these lights on and cut them back off, them roaches gone. They out of here. Same thing you do with a nigga. Nigga wicked, You shine the light on their doings, them niggas get missing. Cause they don't like lights. They like to move under the cloak of darkness and eat all your snacks.
Cause they wicked.
Cause they call them creepy crawlers for a reason. Creepy crawlers move at nighttime.
Wicked road.
Y'all already know that there. Y'all know the song. Who come out at night?
The freak.
The freaks.
The freaking roads freaking around in your kitchen.
Come out at night. Every time most of y'all went and did something you ain't had no business when you went and did it. I ain't saying nobody did it. Guess what? I sold a lot of crack in the daytime too. But guess what though? I sold a lot more crack at nighttime.
In my youth, it was always daytime. I was locked down at night.
You was locked down. You had no choice. You got off when you could.
I'm working all day. That's the time to get out.
Well, but when you got grown, sundown, I'm out here.
Yeah. So I got a little grunt.
You got a little grown like this here. You put your extra good cologne on, your good outfit. You put your new sun skirt on. You out here. You out here. Ain't nobody going to the club in the daytime.
Yeah, club closed in the daytime, baby.
And those are rare. No, he said you have people that have day parties, but they rare though. They rare though. No, it's a lot of places that have day parties all the time. Day parties happen a lot. Comparative to nighttime parties, they rare. But there are a lot of.
Usually be like on the balcony so you can see the sunshine.
Yeah, and also day parties for the most part, usually somebody's trying to network about getting some cash. It is a good time, but it ain't a good time at the same time. It's more business, but we're going to have a good time while we do it. White people have day parties all the time. All the time. See, if you ain't white people, you see a part of life you never thought existed then versus dealing with black people because they do stuff that black people don't do. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't trying to put myself in this shit.
No, I'm just sitting there telling you, hey, I'm like this here. If you remove sin out the equation, shoot, white people know how to have a good time. White people know how to have a good time. I ain't never been with no white person that wanted to shoot nobody up when they was at an event. Straight up and down. I ain't never seen it. You know what I'm talking about? I used to be around white boys on ecstasy and white girls on ecstasy, and all they want to do is have sex. I was around niggas on ecstasy. I'ma kill that nigga, bro. I love you, my nigga. And they want to shoot the whole club up. For real. I ain't being funny. I'm dead serious. Like, I done been around both. White people know how to good. White people have parties with 8, 9 kegs and nobody gets shot. Niggas have a party with 3, 4 bottles of Hennessy. Somebody got hit with the bottle. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Do you feel like because it's the type of music they listen to, what we listen to, our music really promote violence, and they need to be like tempo?
No, it depends because all white people don't listen to that house music stuff or that techno stuff.
Like, nigga on Hennessy here, nothing be buckle, heaven on the other side. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, but I done heard, I mean, shoot, and white boys be at parties too, listening to the same stuff. They still don't want to fight nobody. Oh, I ain't say I ain't never seen no white brawls. I ain't say they ain't seen no white brawls because I know they brought now. I know some crackers that'll go. But I'm talking about for the majority. If you go to a white party or a white club, but you, how many times you done cut on the news in Jacksonville, Florida, and seen a white club, a nigga got shot?
But see, at they club, they listen to that techno stuff.
No, every club them white boys got, they ain't listening to no techno music, man.
They be selective in what they put in the news too. Or just like that junk you showed, like you remember you were telling us about the cracker that hit the lady, and you was like, I was like who it was, a cracker or white? He was like, you know it was a cracker, do some junk like that.
No, they do be selective what they put on the news, but then at the same token, but a lot of stuff like it's a lot of times a nigga who got shot at a club in this city and it didn't even get on the news, but a nigga heard about it. Like I'm talking about what you hear in the street. You just don't hear white boy talking about their clubs got shot up because they got more clubs than we do.
Yeah, the ratio of white people.
You know what I'm saying? Like niggas, y'all don't remember after 11. That junk was a little hole in the wall, right over here on Beaver. And it was more niggas outside the club than in the club. You know what I'm saying? And them niggas gonna bang. Them niggas shot at after 11 every week. You hear me? Every week. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm talking about also the mentality of the groups of people when they go to these spots. I done been with some white boys. These white boys ain't thinking about fighting. A nigga have to tell their homeboy, bro, all these hoes in here, bro, you want to fight? You know what I'm saying? White boys went to Midnight Madness when we were just. They wasn't running there thinking about fighting. Niggas was going to the fair looking for a fight. You know what I'm saying? But like they say though, niggas be angry though. They just mad at life. Mad at life. I'm finna fight me a nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm just talking about from my experiences. I ain't saying this. I'm just saying, boy, crackers know how to have a good time and you go home in one piece at the end of it.
I promise it's that music too though.
Nah, bro. From my experience as a DJ, I DJ at FSU parties like White Boys and all that, and I know the music they listen to.
I know white boys who don't listen to no techno music, no house music, who listen to the same hip hop or want to hear some heavy metal music, and them crackers is like this here. They ain't right here. They ain't doing all that.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like at white parties, yeah, you might put a little music on one here and there, but black parties is.
But regardless of what though, regardless of music you put on, you ever been to a white boy party with all them kids?
I have been to a white party.
Boy, all them kids, boy, you think somebody gonna fight because somebody drunk. Because this is ridiculous how much beer they got here.
Yeah, they be way drunker than that.
You know what I'm saying?
They be getting sloppy drunk and they don't fight.
And they don't fight. I'm talking about like mass brawls. Yeah. You have a couple of them like this here, screw you, Billy. Bam! You know what I'm saying?
Man is drunk, just let him know.
Yeah, that's what it usually be. Screw you, Billy. Tired of your junk. Well, what you want to do? Bam, bam, and it's over with. Give me a beer.
I just know.
Nigga, get out of here. What, nigga? What? Going to my trunk. Everybody like, oh boy, nigga out of here. Nigga ain't even drunk. But I will say most of my experience came from that ecstasy, boy. I watched these crackers act way different on ecstasy than niggas do. Way different. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, y'all on the same drug. You know what I'm saying? Because the white was like this here, man, I love you, man. Give me a hug, bro. And I'm like, come on, bro, don't touch me like that. You know what I'm saying? And nigga be like this here. Shoot this
nigga. Say cause nigga pop an X and listen to Boosie. Boosie said pop a jug and kill a nigga though.
Hey,
that's how niggas feel.
Man, I feel like it's the psychological.
It's got to be the
social. I feel like it's the psychological and the social history of the people. You gotta think, crackers in general have built the whole country has been built on the backs of niggas. So psychologically, as a people in a whole, they've lived a more carefree life.
Now I don't disagree with that, but I feel like intrinsically they're more violent.
Like that mentality goes in their generation, just like the mentality of us being oppressed and
I don't disagree
being
with
mad and angry and mad at our position. That junk passed down.
I don't disagree.
So when that junk come out, whenever it come out, you don't even gotta be drunk or how that junk come out.
I don't disagree with all that. Stuff. My thing is though that intrinsically they're more violent.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like instinctively
they are more violent. So I'm sitting back looking at why y'all don't react so violently, because we know y'all are stoned. Y'all go kill people for sport. No, I ain't talking about this here. Like
you're hunters,
like for sport.
You like to see death and violence
and look at it and take pictures with dead bodies. Like let's set a nigga on fire and take a picture with it like this here.
Yeah, that's what they be doing. Let's cut the hog up and take his stomach out. Yeah, that's what they be on. That's what the crackers be on. I can tell it, like in all the country towns, that's what crackers do. They like to be dirty and be violent. That's it. That's what they like to do.
Like you don't walk around with no shoes on.
Niggas not like that. Psychological, bro.
Like I ain't saying this. I'm just telling you my experiences in life. Like,
cause you gotta think that's them
niggas don't get off like that.
The music. Why we make music like that? Because that's how we feel. It ain't the music that's making us feel like that. That's how we already.
But at the same token, though, no, all niggas don't feel like that, because 75% of these niggas is lame and don't even have those life experiences.
That's true too.
Nah, but when we talking about the stuff that he talking about, like
no, like I'm saying, though, like unless you in a hood spot with hood niggas. Most of the people who listening to this music,
I'm not talking about the mainstream like flexing rap. I'm talking about the nothing you buck type rap. The rap where niggas is really talking about their lifestyle and how they feel.
That's what I'm talking about. And I'm saying 75% of the people who listen to this music, that's not their life.
Nah, the listeners, yeah.
The listeners, that's not your life.
That's why you can't say.
So that's what I'm saying. Why you in the club, nigga, you acting, you fronting.
You fronting.
Oh yeah, that too. On top of that, because niggas ain't making nobody go platinum.
The music either, because it's a small group of people that's making that music that's real and that's how they really feel, versus the people that's listening to it. But like I said, psychologically, that's already in there.
Now I can say, now, I can say that I done been in the club and seen niggas do this stuff and they flogging because they think that's what they supposed to do. That they think that, oh, I'm gonna be hard. Next thing you know, nigga in jail trying to run from Nasty Nate. Yeah, see, y'all ain't seen Half Baked, so you don't know about that.
Nah, every time I think of that, I think about
no, Nasty Nate, it's my fruit cup. He trying to get my fruit cup.
I can't think of it. It's not a game.
Oh, you talking about that was real?
That's why I think
the Stop It Rusty, that was real. That really happened. You know what I'm saying? But Nasty Nate is from Half Baked when their friend got locked up and the dude was trying to talk about forbidden jungle of love. It's like Half Baked is hilarious. It's still hilarious now, and I ain't even got to be high.
But even with the incarceration rate of black people in the prisons, you feel like a lot of them niggas in there just lame and they ain't really.
Oh, of course, I've been there.
Yeah,
I've been there. Oh God, yes. Oh God, yes. God, yes.
You said lame?
What?
Yeah, and that's how.
In these days and times. In these days and times, oh God, yeah. I told you right. Oh, absolutely, that too. When I was in the county, first time I went to the county, dude seen I was from Atlantic Beach. That's where I caught the case at. I'm like, I ain't from there, but shoot, I stay down there, I hustle down there, so, hey man, I rock with these boys. Nigga thought I was laying off the rip till I went to running them numbers down. He went to asking me questions like, no, nigga, I hustle for real, bitch. Like, I just want no nigga pick up and say, we was cool, sell weed. You know what I'm saying? Niggas sell drugs because they think it's cool. Till the cracker give them 10, 15 years. Now they around here like this here. I'm telling on John, Jim Bar around the corner, whole niggas. Nigga, you ain't got to be out here in these streets. You out here in these streets because you think it's cool. You know what I'm talking about? Well, they got a cool spot for you. They sit you down for 10. No, some niggas think, I ain't gonna put it on the music. Niggas think it's cool because they see what's going on around them.
And the benefit.
But I'm telling you, niggas that I knew who started hustling, that ain't had no business hustling, is because they were looking at niggas who, like, screw the music.
Yeah, your generation, yeah, my generation.
They watching niggas. They watching niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was real easy for me to tell a young nigga not to hustle, but he just sat back and watched me make $1,000 though. You know what I'm saying? That nigga ain't trying to hear that. Or he see another nigga around the way, he pulling up in that Escalade, nigga coming there, nigga got that bread. Nigga ain't trying to hear that. You know what I'm saying? The music may play a role, but don't nothing play more role than the environment that they in. You know what I'm saying? And niggas seeing it. And then
somebody suburb niggas, these niggas that
well, some people get in the dope game. They may be lame, but it's the look thought of fast, quick money.
I'm thinking
because greed is a good factor that push a nigga into it.
I'm thinking about the niggas that got parents rich, but they still want to be.
But a lot of people parents ain't rich.
But that's the thing I was gonna add too. Like prison, a lot of niggas might be lame, but a lot of niggas might really be broke for real.
Yeah,
and they
nigga
really
just lame
because that was their way to come up. Like
nigga
said,
just lame.
Quick, easy money.
It's quick, easy money.
I'ma do it.
It ain't nothing to make it. You know what I'm talking about? Depending if you got a plug, it ain't nothing to get it.
Even the lame niggas broke.
So I'm trying to tell you, it's just the fact of you get put in an environment. When I say lame, you in an environment with men of mentalities that you will not deal with and you're not used to dealing with. See, it ain't nothing to deal. See, so some people could be intimidated if you sit next to a nigga you know he done killed 3-4 people. You know what I'm saying? Like I was in the spot, a nigga named Reggae, solid nigga. Niggas all right with me. You know what I'm saying? It was another nigga like this here. This nigga had 3 bodies on his head that he was fighting. And you got another nigga like this here. Didn't want to fool with him. He like, Reggae, like, what, you got a problem with street niggas, my nigga? Because that's a different vibe and mentality of person you dealing with. Some people are not comfortable being around murderers. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a problem being around a murderer. I'm not intimidated by this man because he killed nobody. Cause I know you're a regular dude just like me. Nigga clearly did something that this man didn't like and he decided to take his life. Maybe he owed him some money. Maybe he disrespected him. I don't know. If this nigga was sitting there and you knew a nigga say, oh, he got 5 murders, you might be nervous, don't want to be around him or talk to him. That's a lame because you a coward. You scared of him. You know what I'm saying? I'm not scared of this man. What I'm scared of him for? I was in there with my cousin. This man was in here for killing his old lady. You know what I'm saying? Nigga like, don't fool. I watched this man open hand slap a man and swell his face up. You understand what I'm telling you? Like he was fighting the dude. He like this here, wham, 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 but he had open hand. I'm like, big cub, boy, please start hitting him. You gonna kill him. I thought he was hitting him closed fist. I say, big cub, please start hitting him. He my cousin on my daddy's side. Swole his face up like this here. I say, boy, you want no problem with this nigga here. Nigga was 6'4", 270 pounds. Do you know what I'm saying? and a killer. Met another cousin in there, a killer. Just came home from a body and was in there for swinging on the police. You know what I'm saying? And some niggas will see a nigga like that and they shake it, and when you go to prison, niggas see that fear and they feed on it. And that's how niggas end up grabbing their ankles.
It ain't funny though, but it is too.
It's the same thing in the street. If you in the street, nigga like this here. Y'all seen house party say smells like, you know what he said. Nigga smell it. It's fresh too.
Feel it in the air.
I feel it in the air. Come on, man. I'm dead serious. Because you place yourself in environments. If you're not a killer, don't run. Like, we weren't killers, so we didn't run with killers. Because if you a killer gonna expect you to kill so he can trust you. You running with killers and you ain't gonna kill nothing, they don't trust you. So eventually they gonna kill you, or they gonna pass you that burner and say, shoot that nigga right now, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you're not a robber, then you ain't gonna run with robbers because they not gonna trust you. Stick that nigga up. You know what I'm saying? If you're a dope boy, you run with dope boys. Because you got people who are dope boys, but they not killers. And you got killers who not dope boys. And robbers just rob because they don't have the patience to sell dope. Because everybody don't have patience to sell dope. So they say, I just robbed a dope man. I'm for real. Just an example of somebody famous, Trey D from the East Siders and DMX. They didn't have patience to sell dope, so they just robbed the niggas who did. Now a lot of niggas, you gotta have patience to do that. To hustle every day, you gotta have some patience. Everybody don't have that type of patience.
You gotta have some intellect too, though.
You do.
You can be a straight fool and get a nigga for all love.
For all love.
Like that. That'd be the wild niggas. He was a whatever type of. For real though, that'd be the niggas that you really gotta do it.
Then you have dudes that are just hustlers. They get money. That's what they do. You know what I'm saying? But they'll kill you though. Cause I know dudes that were hustlers, they were cool niggas, they were chill niggas, they'll blow your brains out if they had to. And they ain't gonna pay nobody else to do it, they gonna go do it themselves. So niggas know, don't fool with me. Oh yes. Oh yes.
It was the call center. You saw the call center come out?
Here in Jacksonville?
You out of town.
Hey, little Becky. Hey, little Becky. Sorry. Hi, Amber. Go ahead.
Okay.
Which one? 2 Corinthians?
2 Corinthians 6:16. Hi, Amber. Your name's Sarah Marie.
It says, we at verse 6. It say, wherefore come out from among them and be ye separate, said Yahuwah, and touch not the unclean thing.
Don't do what?
Touch not the unclean thing.
Don't do what?
Touch not the unclean thing.
Unclean things can be people too.
And I will receive you, and I will be a father unto you, and you shall be my sons and daughters.
Saith?
Says Yahuwah Al Shaddai.
Yeah, man. What I asked for after that?
Lil John.
Yeah.
You get Revelation 19?
Not yet. 1 John 3:1.
It said, behold, what manner of love the Father hath bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of Elohim.
Sons of who?
Elohim.
Sons of who?
Elohim.
That's the love of Elohim, that he would even give you that honor to be able to do so. Go ahead.
Therefore the world knoweth us not.
The world what?
It knows not.
It know what?
It knows not.
Why?
Because it knew him not.
It don't know Elohim.
Beloved, now we are the sons of Elohim, and it does not yet appear what we shall be, but that when he shall appear, we shall be like him.
And we shall see him
as he is.
And this is the point. Go to Revelation 19:9. Make it 19:7. That's the point of what I'm talking about. If the word is inside of you, then you would see that person as they are, because you would see Elohim in them. And if the word is inside of you, then you would see inside of them, then you would see Elohim in them. This goes back to what I was talking about when he said everything after.
Get down.
Because it's going to be ugly for you, son. He finna learn. He finna take a spill. I hate it for you too. Let me get him for you, Howard.
But it's a sticky situation. But, you saw him. He was on a tightrope, boy.
Yeah, that was gonna be
a tightrope.
That was finna be a head injury. So you gotta sit back and look at something. That's why I've told you this in the past. Everything after its own kind. If you look in the book, when you deal with anything righteous, righteousness attracts righteousness. Ungodliness attracts ungodliness. He tell you in the book of Samuel, from the wicked proceed wickedness. So if you say you righteous, then you're not going to be attracted to anything that wickedness proceeds from. You're going to find that detestable. Since I said that, give me Proverbs 29 and 29. Because I'm going to tell you something. Yahuwah is very merciful, loving, and forgiving. At the same token, that man ain't with that rallies, and he has people that he utterly disgusts on a day-to-day basis. And it's because of their actions. It's not them as an individual. It's their actions. He detests it. Proverbs 29, 29. Was it 29, 20? Well, what 27 say?
It say an unjust man is an abomination to the just, and he that is upright in the way is an abomination to the wicked.
So he said, he that's up. A wicked man is an abomination to a just man. He discussed that. Now Yahuwah is a just man, so how you think he feel about wicked people? Didn't he tell you nothing abominable will enter into his city? See, that calls you to consider. All the word of Elohim is to do is to cause a man to consider his ways. Didn't he tell you that in Haggai? Since I said it, let's go and read it. 1 and 3. And then we go to Revelation 19 and 7.
1 and 3.
Yep.
It says, then came the word of Yahuwah by Haggai the prophet, saying,
what it said?
It is a time for you, O ye, to dwell in your sealed houses.
Yep.
And this house lie waste.
Lie waste.
Now therefore, thus says Yahuwah of hosts, consider your ways.
Consider what?
Consider your ways.
Consider what?
Your ways.
Your what?
Your ways.
What else?
Ye have sown much.
You sown what?
Much.
And what happened?
And bring in little.
He said you worked a lot. You ain't got nothing.
Ye eat, but ye have not enough.
You had a whole bunch of food. You still hungry.
Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink.
You not filled with what?
With drink.
You not filled with what?
Drink.
What else?
Ye clothe you, but there is none warm.
You still naked.
And he that earneth wages to put into a bag with holes.
So you made the money to put it in the bag and it fell right out the hole. What did he tell you after that?
Thus said Yahuwah of hosts, consider your ways.
So he said you might want to consider what you got going on. Now, one of the things when he mentioned about food and not having enough and drink and still being thirsty, take you back to what? Blessed are those who hunger and thirst after righteousness, because they'll be filled. So the point is, you saying you hungry, you saying you thirsty, but you not. So you never have enough because you're going after your lust, and your lust can never be satiated. Lust can never be satisfied because you always want more. Always want more. You're never satisfied. You're never content. Just to do what? Consider your ways.
Mar, go sit down.
Come on to Revelation 19 and 7.
Sit down.
And 7.
It says, let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come.
The marriage of the who is come?
The Lamb is come.
Yes, sir.
And his wife hath made herself ready.
Made herself what?
Ready.
Made herself what?
Ready.
We talked about last night. That's why I asked y'all what I asked you before we started. This is about making yourself ready. Because if you're not ready, you're not going to be able to enter into the marriage like we read in Matthew 25. You're going to be like, who got some oil? Better go to them that sell. And while you going to them that sell, the door gets shut. And he said he got a door that he shut that no man can open, and a door that he opened that no man can shut. And once he shut that door, it's a wrap. No tears. Guess what? Esau cried a lot. Did he get a blessing? No. He ain't get nothing. Because the book tell you that he ain't get no blessing. You just got discarded. He just told you, man, well, take this here till it's time. That's what you get. This ain't even no blessing. This is discard. This so you get out my face and start whining like a little hoe. Should have had your butt around here the first time like I told you. That's what he was doing, though. Daddy, where's my blessing? That is not a blessing for me either. Ain't that what he said? Shoot, sound like a little hoe to me. Daddy, I want a blessing. I want a little. Where's my blessing? You don't deserve no blessing, nigga. You wanted to get rid of your blessing for a pot of beans. Shoot, sound like a hoe to me. Hoes selling they soul out here every day for a chicken box and a 20. 20 of hard, 20 of coke, 20 of weed. Maybe just an Andrew Jackson. Shoot, it's women out here selling their butt for some attention. Look at me. Shoot, this nigga selling their soul every day. You ain't got to sell your soul to no devil, no Illuminati and all that stupid stuff niggas around here be talking about all the time. You can sell your soul for next to nothing. Niggas out here selling their soul for attention. Look at all these corny niggas always posting all their guns and all the stuff they doing. Police come get a nigga snitching on me. Niggas do it every day. Selling themselves short for a little bit of nothing. Shoot, we threw rocks at the chain gang for years. In reality, niggas selling their soul for the hope to get a brick. Trying to hustle up to get a brick. Because you feel like once you get to a brick, ain't no stopping us now. Because I get one brick, I can get two. And if I can get two, I can get four. And if I can get four, I can get 8. We on now. You know what I'm saying? You selling your soul at that point. Selling your soul ain't got nothing to do with putting no blood contract with the devil and no Illuminati. Selling your soul is selling yourself over to sin. Ain't that what the book tell you about? You sold yourselves or not, you'll be redeemed without money. Say, which one of your creditors did your mother sell you to? You sold your own soul because you sold it for the desires of this world and for your flesh. You sold your own soul. Take that Illuminati stuff and flush it down the toilet because this nigga's going to hell right along with it for selling their soul. And they ain't got no record deal, ain't got no video, ain't getting no movie, ain't cashed no $1 million check.
Ain't got nothing.
Ain't got nothing. But the devil got a receipt for your behind.
Dry pocket.
Wet behind in a dry pocket. That's the worst thing in the world. Don't let a nigga run up in you, you walk away with a dry pocket. Don't let that nigga see you home with no wet draws. You get you some money out of that. You gonna let Satan run up in you. Get you something up out the deal.
Yeah. At that point, them the only ones really getting anything. It ain't worth it, but
you got niggas who selling their soul on a average or above average level out here, same token, because they doing sin to get it. And that real estate business, man, that junk is worse than the dope game. Only difference ain't nobody getting killed or going to jail. Because they just as shiesty, just as shady, just as crooked. Nigga will flip you in your face and talk about doing a deal and go behind your back and cut you out of it. Niggas got very bad ethics. Like it's nothing different. Niggas selling their soul for a check.
Yeah, right, bro.
Niggas selling their soul for a check.
Right, bro.
You know what I'm saying? You had to look at that. Niggas out here selling their soul for a mate. I just seen a woman do a video today. She say ain't no boy. She say I don't do boyfriends. I felt it too. Niggas were clowning on it. She ain't wrong. At the point of you talking about I'm your boy, you my boyfriend, nigga, that's not no commitment. That mean you got me on pause. You know what I'm saying? You ain't came and committed to me and say I'm going to marry you. You got me on hold. That mean I could have been around here. She said just say we dating. And if we dating, that mean I got options.
She said that mean she said I used to be on layaway.
That's what she said. But I seen it though. I done seen a woman date a nigga 10 years. She wasted 10 years of her life. Nigga had on hold.
Yeah, she was saying that. She was saying that if you got the boyfriend.
Niggas do that. Because I'm going to be honest with you though. If a nigga want to marry you, he know that within about 6 months. You know what I'm saying? If that's something that he seriously wants. Men know rather quickly if they want to marry a woman. If that's something they going to consider and they going to work towards that and move towards that, they know that very quickly. They know that very quickly. It don't take a man. If it take a man 3-4 years to figure out if he want to marry you, he don't.
Well, you know, that's not true.
So y'all women, you're not a man, so you wouldn't know. You know what I'm talking about? I'm sitting here telling you, it don't take a man 3 years to figure out if he want to marry you.
Unless I got a long distance relationship.
Now we ain't talking about waiting till you stable. We talking about I know I want to marry this woman.
Yeah.
I ain't talking about all that extraneous stuff. I'm talking about a man knows within about 6 months, a year at the most, if I want to make this woman my wife.
Yeah, but still, some still take time.
Not saying they gonna get married.
But he already knows that that's what he wants to do.
That's something he can think.
Got the plans, not stacking on money.
Yeah, he already know. It don't take a man 3-4 years to figure out. You know what?
You right.
I want to marry her. He don't want to marry.
Consider marriage.
He don't want to marry.
On the long, it's not gonna take.
It don't take man. It may take a woman that long to figure out if this a man I want to marry. It don't take a man that long. It don't take him long at all.
I agree though.
When he talking about actually doing the act and planning it out,
being
already clicking in his brain, or marry her. Niggas already know. Because men are looking for certain characteristics that they deem to be wife worthy, and they looking to see if you possess them. And if they catch you possessing them and execute them on a consistent basis, then he already know. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap mama up. I'm gonna wrap her up. I won't deal with potential, because potential might fall down the drain. I got to see that you actually possess it. Because see what potential is. Guess what? I seen some football players that potentially could have been good, but they weren't. Because potential is nothing without a plan. So I seem like you got some potential. What your plan is to maximize it. But we talking about actual characteristics, meaning what it is that you do. And a man knows what characteristics that he desires his wife to have. And if he catches that woman with those characteristics and she exhibits them on a consistent basis, then he already know. I'm finna wrap mama up.
Because potentially mean they're not doing it yet. That mean they could do it.
No, when you see those, what I'm saying is when you see those, you got, okay, she might be my wife.
Well, if you already thinking like that, that mean ain't no might be. You already unconsidered it. See, a man don't think if a man, once it click in your brain, she might be my wife, you already 3/4 of the way there. You 3/4 of the way there.
I'm listening, bro.
Like I said, you realize that she might be the one.
You said once you realize the what?
That she might be the one. After that, you don't know what she's gonna do after that. She might cheat on you after that. She not cheat on you within 6 months.
But that's still the same thing he's saying. If you saying after you saying that I might do that, that means in your head you've already considered it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all he was saying.
Period. Because ain't no man. If a man, if it take a nigga 3-4 years to consider marrying you,
that's why I was listening.
If it take a man 3-4 years to consider marrying you, he never wanted to marry you. And I'm telling you, we men, we sit here telling you, don't let a nigga play with you like that. I'm trying to tell you, don't let a nigga play with you. It don't take a nigga that long. It don't take that long. This nigga over here, put that nigga in the bed, man. Somebody get her a blanket and tell her to go to sleep. Huh? I ain't getting on no nigga. That's for certain. Oh God, no. Oh God, no. I don't know, nigga. That's white people stuff. That's white people stuff. I don't do no junk like that. That's white people stuff. He ain't wrong. Cause that is Caucasian customs.
All work the same, huh?
All work the same. Guess what? I ain't getting on like against here. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I don't know where you get that from. You better go holler at Mr. You got on the knee? Yeah. I know Stanley did. No, I ain't doing that. If I was there, I'd have did it. Get your stoop behind the ball, nigga. Let's go. You smoke the marijuana, boy?
Good crap, boy.
That nigga done smoked the marijuana. Everybody in that girl family gonna be looking at me crazy.
Hey, man, 2 lines.
Nigga walked in there like this here, jump. Get your stoop behind off that.
Hey, none of us was there.
No, that's why he did it. He made sure wasn't nobody there. We can mess with you now because it's past. We couldn't mess with you then. It was fresh. No, it was too fresh to mess with you then. We let you live. I can mess with you now. No, I wasn't gonna mess. I had jokes for days for you, but I kept them to myself. I had kept them to myself.
I get a mission for a nigga slap me there.
Nah, Stanley's is a separate case. Stanley's is a separate case.
I mean, I ain't saying nigga, ain't saying nobody. If you want to get on the knee, that's your prerogative. I ain't getting on no knee.
It's just a sign of humility.
No, who told you that was a sign of humility? Cause
I'm saying, you wouldn't bow.
Getting on the knee is a sign.
I'm not getting no. I'm talking about even if I'm buying a wedding ring, I ain't doing it. Cause at the end of the day, you gonna sit there. I got this nigga to bow himself down to me. I don't bow down to nobody but the Lord. Man, I don't bow down to nobody but the Lord. I don't bow to nobody but the Lord. I'm not bowing my knee to not a single solitary human being on this planet.
The Lord.
Period. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely not.
The Lord is my shepherd.
And I shall not want, because I better don't get on my knee for this nigga right here.
I said, the Lord is my shepherd.
I don't bow down to nobody but the Lord. That's it. But the Lord.
That's all I heard. I bow down to nobody but myself.
Who you tell? No, ma'am. Guess what? We bowing down. She better get on her knee with me because we must finna pray.
I respect that though. You gotta respect that.
We must finna pray. No, I don't do that. I ain't on that. I wasn't on that before the word. I'm not on that.
I think that is how it should be. I feel like if it should be any bowing, y'all should do it together.
Because the custom was it wasn't never no bowing or no proposing. Your daddy walked in here and said, "You marrying that nigga right there," and that's the end of it. That's the custom. Huh? What you mean? Not his family may have.
It could go both ways.
It go both ways, but if we were in the old days in our land, you had no choice of who you were going to marry. That was already chosen for you. That was already arranged. Not necessarily financially. They most of the time they arranged it based on, I know the family that he comes from and the manner of life of that family. So 99.9% of the time, if it was a righteous family of the daughter, they were going to match her up with a family of a righteous man. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to look at something. We done talked about this before. You didn't leave your parents' house at 18, 21 years old. You left your parents' house, you were pretty much very grown. Do you know what I'm saying? Very grown. Like Isaac didn't leave Abraham's house till he was like almost 60. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, true. That's true. They definitely live longer. So if we was to take his 60 and put it down to our time, he might have not been till he was 25, 30 years old till he left his parents' house.
But I think 18, 25 is almost more than a quarter of your life. Because the average person not going to live to 100. So at 18, 25, you're past a quarter of what you're going to live anyway. So you might want to get up and do something.
Well, now it's now the reason, the point of what we're talking about is now because people getting boyfriends, because that's not what in our culture, that's not what we did. This is how you end up becoming a whore. Because you go from one boyfriend to the next boyfriend to the next boyfriend to the next boyfriend to the next boyfriend. Like I just told him, I got a homegirl. If she ain't with a nigga, she may have sex with whoever she want to have sex with. But if she with a dude, that's who she with. And if that relationship go 2 months or 2 years, she gonna toot her butt up to him. Then when she leave him alone, she doing it with the next person she get with. And the next thing you know, you been done had 20, 25 niggas you done slept with in a short period of time. You know what I'm saying? And you done turned yourself into a whore looking for a boyfriend because a boyfriend has not made any commitment to you at all. You playing like you married, you doing stuff that married people do, but he has not made a commitment to you. Unless that man came to you and said, I want to marry you, then he has not made a commitment towards you. Because if he say, I want to marry you, then that means he is setting it up to move towards the path of making you his wife. But it's the fact that that commitment is there for me to make a commitment to you. Because that's a mutual conversation that you and that man would have, or that woman and that man would have. That this is what we're going to work towards. Versus you, my boyfriend. We're not working towards anything. We just out here. We go on a date. Go have some fun. You might try to get me moist and get in my butt. Next thing you know, I end up with a baby. Now you don't want to be here no more. I'm taking care of baby by myself.
But that's what that was pretty much what she was saying on the video. She was like, when you have when you saying you're a girlfriend or a boyfriend, you're pretty much saying that you're committed to this person without y'all agreeing on being with each other.
Because all of us in this room know too many people who have done that and ended up wasting a lot of their time dealing with somebody they didn't have no business dealing with because there was no commitment on the table. We'll just see what happens. Everybody clowns about the statement that women make, that they say, well, what are we? If you got to ask a man what you are, then there's no commitment between you and that man, and you need to move on. Because that man is wasting your time. Or that woman is wasting your time. Because adult, mature-minded people don't do that. They know firmly what they want. They're going to come to you with a conversation and express what they want. And if you are not willing to meet them with what they want, then they will move on. You know what I'm saying? And that's where you had to get your mind to. But see, most of y'all were young, so we didn't have that type of knowledge again. We didn't have that type of tools when we were 18, 19, 20 years old. You going along with what goes on in the culture that you live in. This is what everybody does. But just because this is what everybody does, don't mean it's right. Don't mean it's wise. Do you know what I'm saying? And definitely don't mean it's godly, because that's what everybody. Guess what? You know, there's a difference between our culture when you talk about courting and a boyfriend and a girlfriend, because courting is dating with the intent to marry.
That's what she said.
You know what I'm saying? That's what courting is, dating with the intent to marry. Boyfriend and girlfriend is, let's just have some dance, let's say, you know, do. Go out and have some fun every now and then, and I can say you my girlfriend, and you can say I'm your boyfriend, and then guess what you end up doing? Moving in together, playing house, taking care of somebody like she your wife and she's not your wife. That's something I ain't never did and never will do. I couldn't even fathom. That was not even a reality of me to take care of a woman like she my wife and I ain't married to her. I used to look at my homeboy like, you stupid. She ain't your wife, but you pay all the bills and you take care of her? What type of sense does that make?
Well, you gotta be able to prove you can do that before you can make somebody your wife in the first place.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about the sense of you already living with them. Y'all living together. You taking care of her like she's your wife, but you not married to her. That didn't make any sense to me.
Oh, no.
You know what I'm saying? Like I had homeboys, they moved in with their old lady. Bro, you gonna marry her, bro? No. Then what you staying with this nigga for? That didn't make sense to me.
So you come home and all your stuff gone.
That didn't make sense to me. I'm talking about as a young person. That didn't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Because you have extended this woman husband privileges, but she's not your wife. So if I was gonna move in with a woman, then I was gonna marry her. Why would I move in here and live with her and act like we married, but then we not married? That didn't make sense. I'll tell you no lie. When I was young, all I could think about is that's money I could have spent on weed. That I'm spending on her, I could have bought some weed. If I wasn't gonna marry her, I could have bought me some weed.
Boy, you ugly.
I'm just being honest with you. Just being honest with you.
Small part of the money spent.
No, I'm just sitting here saying though, I like to smoke weed back then. So if I'm buying her this and buying her that and she ain't my wife and I ain't obligated to do it, that's less money I could have spent on weed. That's how I felt. 19, 20 years old, that's how I felt. I ain't saying it's right, I'm just saying how I felt. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I ain't saying it's right, that's just how I felt. Before, I couldn't understand that. You know, I know stuff happened. I couldn't understand impregnating a woman that I wasn't gonna marry. Cause I got homeboys that got kids from chicks that they knew full well that they didn't want no real relationship with, and they got babies with them. You know what I'm saying? And they hate their life because they got babies from this person. And I'm like, shoot, not I. If I'm gonna put I done told y'all that before. If you ain't gonna make her a wife, don't make her a mother. Period. You know what I'm saying? And that's the whole point of how this culture got you backwards. Because they make you to lead you to believe that you could put the cart before the horse, and it's cool when you try to put the horse back in front of the cart, everything messed up. No, because you did it backwards. That's just the culture we live in. You know what I'm saying? They promote it. They tell you, be free. Don't let nobody sexually inhibit you. Don't let nobody slut shame you.
That's how most women
You can do what you want.
You can do what you want.
That's how most women be having like 2, 3, 4 baby daddies.
That's the boyfriend thing, how they get 2, 3, 4 baby daddy. The boyfriend thing make that happen.
And the nigga game, man.
Well, nigga have like 2, 3 baby mamas because he think he just got potential, it ain't work out, so he get it up.
And guess what?
The other way around, niggas smooth talk out the draws.
Straight up here. And then you got niggas, you
You
know
know,
how
feel like he gonna marry me, and that nigga slide. He ain't do that.
Or this one here, nigga ain't got nowhere to stay. Nigga ain't got nowhere to stay. He done smooth talked, blowed all in the booty, and did all that freaky stuff. He got him somewhere to stay and done put a baby in him.
Yeah. And they ain't never say, I'm finna marry you.
They ain't never said I'm finna
He
marry
never
you.
say it out his mouth. But she feel like as he done did all that, oh, he gonna marry
He gonna marry me. Or you carrying this baby. I know he gonna marry me now. Shoot, that nigga on to the next dumb hoe.
Definitely.
At the same time. It's because it goes both ways. Because you got niggas who looking for somewhere to stay. You got women looking for a sponsor. I feel like Pac. Don't hit me with that buy me this, buy me that syndrome. You better go get you a job. You want to be rich.
I'm looking for a sponsor.
Sponsor.
Go fund me.
Go fund me. I make you a grilled cheese and I hunch.
A mean hunch.
Mean hunch. I got hunch, punch, and grilled cheese, baby. Come on. Come on, man.
That boy, that funny.
Hey, you sit down.
But see that what you know, I might clown about, but it's all about making better decisions. That if you see somebody who's in that same situation, that you can give them knowledge and wisdom and understanding that possibly they can make a better decision. Because for some of y'all already married, so it don't make no difference. You know what I'm saying? But you can sit back and tell somebody, you know what? We lived together before we were married too. That wasn't the best thing to do. Let me tell you why. You know what? I tooted my booty in there before I got married too. Let me tell you why that's not the best decision. I would chase a hoe when I was young like you too. Let me tell you why that's not the best decision. Now, if they choose to go do it afterwards, that's on them, but you told them.
Come here.
You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about. It's about this country is backwards. So don't do what they do because they backwards. They'll have you in sin because that's the cultural norm in the land where you live, so you think it's acceptable. I'm trying to tell you now, as a woman, if a man come to you and say, you know what, I want to marry you. One, you just sit back and look at, because there ain't too many men gonna do that, but I'll be honest with you, if he a righteous man, a decent man, he come and tell you that, that means that he's gonna be setting forth to show you over a period of time that that's exactly what he wants to do. Because I done told you before, if you want to know if a man really care about you, take your butt off the table. See how long he stick around. If there ain't no sex, if a man stay dealing with you and ain't no sex involved, that man love you and care about you. Straight up and down. You know what I'm talking about? Because ain't no man gonna be loyal to a woman he know he has no chances for any sexual gratification. And I know this for a fact. You can ask every man in this room. They'll tell you that. They know that butt off the table. You tell the dude, oh, I'm celibate. Guess what he gonna end up doing? Move on to the next one who gonna put out? Or try to play with you to sit that in the third? Ain't no man gonna stick around for a year or two and not get no buddy he don't love you. You know what I'm saying? That's just not gonna happen. Man do that, he love you. And that means you the one he want. That's how you weed niggas out. Who?
Even if you hit the strip club.
Boy, you hit the strip club a couple times, boy. You like this here, boy. You like this. I done picked up too many white dudes that night. Like, boy, I'm ready to trick. I'm finna lose it all. White man like this here, boy. I'm ready. I'm finna lose my whole family. I'm finna trick on these hoes. I say, boy, it's a good thing you finna go to the house.
Damn.
Straight them down. Don't lose your family for a stripper. Not no strip hoe. Don't lose your family for community vagina. Don't do it. Niggas do it every day. But all seriousness though, if you date the man, you interested in the man, that man interested in you, and sex ain't on the table, and he stick around and don't try you for none, ain't but two things going on. He either having sex with somebody else or he really love you.
The strip club might be enough for him though.
Boy, ain't no strip club enough, cause you going home frustrated. You gonna beat your meat. You gonna be blind.
I mean, so some people that's enough.
Ain't enough. Stop raping yourself. What? Trying to tell you, because you're borderline homosexual, you get turned on by the touch of a man. I ain't being funny though.
Yeah.
You borderline, a man turn you on. A man's caress get you off.
Rough hands.
Rough hands.
This is a hard worker.
Hard worker. Hands all calloused up.
But you a hard worker and go home and
ain't good.
that ain't.
Get your hand off yourself. Everybody know it ain't wrong because dudes know they around there beating me now how they hear somebody knocking on the head something. Who that is? They don't want to get caught. You know you ain't got no business doing it. You ain't got too many people just walk around freely masturbating. And if they did, you know they're a pervert. Revelation 19.
Yeah. Revelation 19.
You know they're a pervert. Nah, this nigga talking about that. He said you can't be in fellowship with the Ruach if you fornicating or doing
I
that.
told you that's how I first came across it. I guess he a pervert. That's how I first came across porno. Bro, I date in the morning.
In the morning, you already know.
TV rolling.
TV rolling. Know you look here, man. And you borderline gay watching pornos. You like to look at another man's member? That man in there butt naked. Slanging and hanging, and you watching it.
In the front room.
You watching it. No, I'm good, my nigga. I don't want to see that live with another nigga. I sure don't want to watch it on tape. Oh man, I'm gonna tell you, it ain't normal. 19 and 7, man, it ain't normal. It's not normal. Revelation 19 and 7, man, it's not.
Let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife has made herself ready.
Come on.
And to her was granted that she should be arrayed in the fine linen, clean and white. For fine linen is the righteousness of the Kadeshim.
Mm-hmm.
And he said unto me, right, Baruch are they which are called unto the marriage supper of the Lamb. And he said unto me, these are the true sayings of Elohim.
They the true what?
Sayings of Elohim.
What up?
And I fell at his feet and worshipped him. And he said unto me,
What he said?
See thou do it not.
See that what he did? Because I'm honest to you, going to your point. This is why I say I only bow to the Lord. Because when you bow down, that is a sign of worship. It's a sign of reverence. You know what I'm saying? Now look what this angel told this man when he did this here. Read that again for me, please.
He said he fell on his feet and worshipped him and said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushua. Worship Elohim, for the testimony of Yahushua is the
That's what we came here for, the testimony. Because remember what he told you to put inside the ark? The testimony. So the testimony is the teaching of the separated sacrifice. The testimony of Yahushua is the ruach of prophecy. Those tables of stone were testifying of the sacrifice. Like I say, I might have been clowning about that, but that's why I will not bow down my knee to no one. Do you know what I'm saying? But him. Because we know in Matthew 28 what he told him when he resurrected from the dead. You know what he said out of his mouth? When his apostles seen him, all 11 of them, y'all know what they did? But what did he say to him to get him to bow down? He said, all hail. When you say that, that means give me my worship and my reverence. I'm not worshiping and reverencing. I reverence my wife because I respect my wife. I don't reverence my wife because I reverence my wife. That means I fear her. You know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to fear your wife. Your wife ain't supposed to fear you. She's supposed to respect you. You're supposed to respect her. See, reverence and respect, they mutually exclusive, but then they're not at the same time. Because then we just read the other night, he said, Kadesh and reverence is his name. This means it's something awesome, something terrible, something fearful. I don't fear my wife. Why would I? What's wrong with that boy? What's wrong with you, boy? Back to exit 25. What's wrong with you, boy? Come on back to exit 25. We in verse 17. Exodus 25 and 17. We need that word right there real quick. No, that's a top there, ain't it?
No, that's cough.
Go ahead.
That's the palm.
Got a palm. Go ahead.
Hit on pay.
Mouth.
Cough, pay, wash, tip.
All right, cool. Verse 17.
Yeah, cough, pay, wash, 25 and 17.
Yep.
It said, and thou shalt make the mercy seat of pure gold, 2 cubits, and a half shall be the length thereof. And the
now, Paul, now we cut this mercy seat. That word for mercy seat is kaparoth. Do y'all know what they had to do on the Day of Atonement with that mercy seat? You could go read Leviticus 16 on your own time. That's where they sprinkled the blood for the atonement of the people. That's what they put on the mercy seat. Now that we were just looking at, you look at kapareth, it's the kaf, and you know that's the palm of the hand, right? Then you have the pei, which is the mouth, the rosh, which is the head, and the tet. It always escapes me on that one. We don't use that one too often. Top. Oh, the covenant. Yeah. So you got the palm of his hand, his mouth, the head is the covenant. So you know what you get from that mercy seat? The head's words and his palm or that sacrifice will cause you to enter into a covenant with him. Then we already read in Hebrews 4 where it talked about come to that mercy seat for grace and help in the time of need. Now let's go to John 1 and 15. I got to work this lamb and this shepherd in though. After that 1 Kings chapter 8, I got to crank it up a notch. Just a notch. John 1 and 15, might be 20 would be better. Yeah, tell me what, but 15 is good. Ride with it.
It say, John bare witness of him and cried, saying, this was he of whom I spake. He who cometh after me is preferred before me, for he was before me. And of his fullness have we all received and grace for grace. For the Torah was given by Moses, but grace and truth came by Yahushua HaMashiach. No man have seen Elohim at any time. The only begotten Son, which is in the bosom of the Father, he hath declared him. And this is the record
that he left of him. Check it, right? In verse 29, when John seen him, if I'm not mistaken, don't he say this is the Lamb of Elohim? That's it. Let me ask you a question. I'll ask D. Let me ask you a question, D. If you look at kapareth, right, and it's the kaf or the palm of the hand, and the pei and the mouth, and then the rosh and the head, and then the ta is the covenant. The question is, considering those particular characters, which is the palm, the mouth, and the head, and the covenant, of the first three, remove the ta out the last, the covenant. looking at Yahushua's life, how do you enter into a covenant with him? If we take into account the palm of the hand, the head, and the mouth. We'll start with the palm of the hand first. Taking that palm of the hand, how do you enter into covenant with him?
No, I was listening, but I mean, he lost me. I really thought you were talking to Stanley.
Because if we're looking at the mercy seat characters tell us that the palm of the hand and the mouth of the head will cause you to enter into a covenant. Because we got the kaf, the pei, the rosh, and the tau. The tau, the last character, is a covenant. So we'll set that to the side because that's the basis of the question. So the three characters before the covenant are the palm of the hand, the mouth, and the head. So we're dealing with Yahushua, how do we enter into a covenant with him based off of those three elements in that particular word? I hope do I need to rephrase it?
I got it. Honestly, I feel like you should keep going. I ain't gonna say I don't understand what you're saying, but
What you asking her for precepts? What you asking for?
It'd be this, like, so it'd be the piercing of his hand.
okay, I do.
You know what I'm saying? So, because we know he would pierce in his hand, he showed his apostles after his resurrection, he showed them his hand. He said, look, put your hands through the hole. Remember, he said, this is my blood, which is shed for many for the New Testament. Because remember, that's why I mentioned the mercy seat and the sprinkling of the blood on it in Leviticus 16 for atonement, because we know Yahushua was our atonement. Get me Romans 3 and 23. So then when we look at the pei, because we know he's the head, we know Yahushua is the head. So he's the one who has to execute that covenant. So then when we look at the pei or the mouth, then we look at the words that he spoke. The words that I spoke unto you, they are ruach and they are life. And faith come by hearing, and hearing come by the word. So you hear of his sacrifice, you believe that he rose from the dead, and now you've entered into the covenant with him. And this is what's above the mercy seat. And then we know the ark is the strength of the head's sacrifice, which leads to life, which inside of it is the table of the testimony, which is the teaching of the separated sacrifice. So then that's how we can be able to get the mercy that is above said ark. Because now we can enter into a covenant with him when you take all three of them and put them together. When you take the ark, what's inside the ark and what's above the ark, we see how that allows us to get here, because the mercy seat is actually pointing to faith. The tables of the testimony are teaching you to offer yourself. The ark itself, of which the testimony is contained in, is dealing with the strength that comes from the sacrifice
In faith.
that is allow you to get life. Because we'd have to focus in and zero in specifically on the strength that Yahushua exhibited to sacrifice himself so we could get life. Continue on. Romans 3 and 23. You trying to sing, Eugene?
It says, for all have sinned and come short of the esteem of Elohim.
Yep.
Being justified freely by his grace through the redemption, that is Yahushua Mashiach, whom Elohim has sent forth to be a procreation through faith in his blood to declare his righteousness.
See that there? That's what that was on Day of Atonement in Leviticus 16, while you were sprinkling that blood on that mercy seat. That's why he say, come to the throne of grace in the time of need. See, nobody could come. Who's the only person who could approach to the mercy seat according to the law? The high priest was the only one who could enter in. So now we have a high priest not after a carnal commandment, but of endless life, Yahushua HaMashiach, after the order of Melchizedek, who can enter into the Kadesh of Kadesh to be able to make that propitiation for you so your sins could be forgiven. So in order for that to happen, because he had to go in the Kadesh tabernacle and present the blood to his father. So how did he end up doing it? Because he was the ark, the strength of his head, which is his father, allowed him to sacrifice himself to lead the life, because it said Elohim sent his only begotten son, that we should get eternal life and not perish. He is the tables of the testimony. So he was already taught, because when we talked about that Wednesday, he's the lamb slain from the foundation of the world. So he was already taught about a sacrifice that was going to separate him unto life, to remove death, which takes us back to that mercy seat. What ends us to the mercy seat, which is the palm of the hand, the mouth, the head, and the covenant. So it was the words of the head and his sacrifice, or the piercing of his hands, that leads you to enter the covenant with Elohim, and now you can live forever. Because this is what, and then remember Aaron's rod, that butter is in there too. Remember we looked at that, those were those who resurrected from the dead after his resurrection. It brought forth fruit because of the righteousness of one man. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean on our characters and our thoughts have to switch and become like his. Because that's why he say, righteous Father, the world don't know you. Well, why they don't know him? Because you don't know him. Matter of fact, give me John 8 and 53. Or is it 50? I think it's 53. Just to hear this man's words, what he said. And then we go to 1 Kings 8. Yes, Eugene. Yeah.
It says, art thou greater than our father Abraham, which is dead, and the prophets are dead, whom makest thou thyself? Yahushua answered, if I honor myself, my honor is nothing. It is my Father that honoreth me, of whom ye say that he is your Elohim. Yet ye have not known him.
You have not what?
Known him.
Why they don't know him, y'all? Because they don't believe him and they don't obey him.
But I know him, and if I should say I know him not, I shall be a liar like unto you.
Now you know why we read that right there? Because some of y'all might have people who try to convince you that you don't know him by convincing you to do things that are outside the will of Elohim. So they can get you to say that you don't know him just like they don't. Because first person, oh, you think you better than me. No, you think I'm better than you, because I didn't say that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times when you stand for something or you do certain things, people try to project how they feel about themselves onto you. If you did tell somebody, I don't participate, you're not browbeating them, you're not puffing yourself up, I just don't do that. Oh, you think you better than me. Clearly you think I'm better than you, and you show me that the word of Elohim is true. Because he said if you enter into a covenant with me, he'll set you up high above all people that's upon the face of the earth, which means you will be better than them in his eyesight. And they're acknowledging that because you took hold to that covenant. And you didn't have to do anything other than to say, I live for y'all. That's it. I told you the greatest testimony you can give above anything is how you live versus what you tell them. Show them better than you can tell them. Oh, I don't eat pork. Don't keep telling me you don't eat pork. Just don't eat it. I don't commit fornication. Keep your leg closed and your penis in your pants. That's the greatest testimony you can give them. I don't tell lies. Don't tell them you don't. Oh, my God says we can't lie. Just don't tell no lies. It's just that simple. You know what I'm saying? If you do that, you don't realize that when you walk in the word, that's a testimony against everybody who doesn't. It's a testimony against everybody who doesn't. You don't have to utter a word. You're bearing witness against them. And Yah's word is condemning them based on your adherence and belief to it. Don't got to utter a word. Because remember what that word say, if sinners entice thee, my son, consent thou not. 1 Kings 8:1. Because sinners going to entice you. That's why he tell you to separate yourself from them. First Kings 8:1. I got to go into greater detail of a point I started last night, but I didn't detail it like I should.
It said, then Solomon assembled the elders of Yasharal and all the heads of the tribes, the chief of the fathers of the children of Yasharal, unto King Solomon in Jerusalem, that they might bring up the ark of the covenant of Yahuwah out of the city of David, which is Zion.
Let me ask y'all a question. How can we relate this? Because it says this is about the ark being brought to the temple. Now, we read last night that the Ark of Covenant will not be done. What will not be done with the Ark of the Covenant? We read it last night in the book of Jeremiah, 3rd chapter, be exact. Don't nobody remember? You don't remember? Shayla, you remember? Stop it. According to Jeremiah, the 3rd chapter, what will not be done or what will be done with the Ark of the Covenant? It's one or the other. No. Jeremiah 3:14 again. Yeah, he sleep. Oh, it ain't written in your heart. Well, who that is? That's Mordecai like that? Jeremiah 3:14. You got gas, boy?
No.
You got gas?
It say, turn no backsliding children, said Yahuwah, for I am married unto you, and I will take you one of a city and two of a family and bring you to Zion. And I will give you pastors according to my heart, which shall, you said 3?
Yeah, you good.
Yeah, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. And it shall come to pass when you be multiplied and increase in the land in those days, says Yahuwah, they shall say no more the ark of the covenant of Yahuwah, neither shall it come to mind, neither shall they remember it, neither shall they visit it.
Say they what they won't do?
They shall
started it from the top.
It say they shall say no more the ark of the covenant of Yahuwah.
You will no more say the ark of the covenant of Yahuwah.
Neither shall it come to mind.
No, you won't even remember it.
Neither shall they remember it. Neither shall they visit it.
You won't go see it or nothing.
And neither shall that be done anymore.
Why do you think that won't be done anymore? No. He said you won't go visit the ark of the covenant. Say you won't even remember it. It won't even come to mind.
Because we're going to be serving the Lamb and the throne of Elohim.
Because remember, the ark of the covenant is just symbolic of the throne of Elohim itself. So there will be no need for you to go to the ark of the covenant because Elohim himself will be with you.
And that was made with man's hands.
And that exactly, that was made with man's hands. Ain't none of you made Yahuwah. You made Yahuwah. Let's see what another thing we ain't did for Yahuwah. Isaiah chapter 40. Pick me up at verse 8. You see the point of that? Because we didn't read the other verse when he said, you will no more say the children of Yasharah whom I brought up out of the land of Mizraim, but the children of Yasharah who I brought up out of the north country. Ain't no ark of the covenant when he leave here, because the ark of the covenant going to be right in your face. It's just a geographical location of where the land is. You know, brothers over here try to take it and say North America. See, it say North America. That nigga smoked the marijuana. Go ahead.
Isaiah 40
and 8.
It says, the grass withers, the flower fadeth, but the word of our Elohim shall stand forever.
Sure will.
O Zion, that bringeth good tidings, get thee up into the high mountain, O Jerusalem, that bringeth good tidings. Lift up thy voice with strength.
Drop to verse 13. That's what I want. Make it to
who have directed the Ruach of Yahuwah, or being his counselor, have taught him.
Who directed this man's spirit? Which one of you gave him advice?
With whom took he counsel? And who instructed him?
Who taught him?
Who taught him in the path of judgment, and taught him knowledge, and showed to him the way of understanding? Behold, the nations are as a drop of
That's good. That's why you ain't got no business. You have to sit back and look at, you owe everything to this man. Ain't none one of us taught him no way of judgment. He ain't taught you no way of righteousness. And we hear righteousness and feel like I'm going to do what I want to do. That goes back to that pay and that mercy seat or that mouth. You got to hear that man's word. Because you hear that man's word, then you'll see his sacrifice. And you see his sacrifice, you'll see his head. You see his head, you'll see the covenant. You see the covenant, you'll see life everlasting. Really, that's that simple. Back to 1 Kings chapter 8. So when we look at Solomon assembling the elders of Yasharal, who are these elders he's assembling? Who would these elders be whom he's assembling? According to future tense down the line, because it's the ark being brought to the temple. Well, let's look at Revelation 14:1 and see who these elders is he would be gathering. Because it definitely said he's gathering them up, right? That they might bring that ark up, that you might come up. And also we have to take into account when we look in verse 2, what's going on. Go ahead. That song in the archive. SoundCloud said they wouldn't let Darius get off. Snatch the song off.
Yeah.
He snatched the song off.
That was going to be a nice one.
They say he copyrighted from it.
That nobody.
Yeah, because any time you hear Tabernacle, you know, think about his old ad-lib.
It said, and I looked, and lo, the Lamb stood on the Mount of Zion, and with him 144,000 having the Father's name written in their foreheads. And I heard the voice out of Shamahim as the voice of many waters, and I heard the voice of a great thunder, and I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps. And they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the four beasts and the elders, and no man could learn that song but the 144,000.
I'm going to ask y'all a question, right? Anybody know what Solomon's name means? What's one of the nomenclatures for Yahusha? when it pertains to peace? Prince of Peace.
That boy said
Nomenclature. Basically a pseudonym, something you call yourself outside of your own name.
That was a new one for me, but I knew what you were talking about.
Yeah, so you think about that, right? All the elders gathered to Shalom. What do you think? Where were they at right then in Revelation 14 when they were gathering up? Where were they at then? They was in Mount Zion. Didn't he just talk about how he said to bring that ark up and bring it out of the city of David, which is where? In Zion. All these people gathered up to him. Because remember, we read this in Revelation 7 last night, before all the multitude, before the throne came, these other people got to be gathered unto him first. Come on back to 1 Kings chapter 8 and let's look at verse 2.
But wait, I'm confused on that. Because I thought the city of David. Come on. We want King what?
8 too.
It said, all the men of Yasharal assembled themselves into King Solomon at the feast of the month Ethanim, which is the 7th month.
What feast is in the 7th
I
month?
was going to ask that.
I have to ask him to make sure. What feast in the 7th month?
Tabernacle.
No, that ain't the only feast in the 7th month. And what else? And trumpets. Yeah, but I know that, but I'm saying I didn't hear. There no. And another place in Chronicles, it tells you the exact day when they did this. You know what? Does anybody know what the exact date in Chronicles it is that they said they kept this feast? No, it actually states that they started this feast on the 15th day of the month.
Oh, so that was the first day of time.
Surely is.
The only reason I thought about that because we were talking about the Ark of the Covenant and no sprinkling of blood. That's the only reason I
Absolutely.
said
No doubt,
that.
no doubt. So, if we see them starting this on Tabernacles, 15th day, 7th month, temples being dedicated, what can we ascertain from this? Looking at the testimony of Mashiach. Considering we already read in Revelation about what? The marriage supper of the Lamb.
That's where it would tie in better.
Yeah, I did it first.
Yeah, so that was supposed to be.
No, I did it like that anyway.
I know, that was supposed to be obvious with the setup.
Yeah, that's why I put it out there earlier.
Yeah, you did.
Who else had a marriage supper? That was the last feast of the fathers in the law.
I mean, not Abraham.
It was Jacob. When Jacob got Rachel, he said, "Give me my wife," and they had a feast.
Marriage supper.
That was a marriage supper.
Which one? Isaac when he got Rebecca.
Isaac ain't had no feast. Isaac didn't have a feast when he got Rebecca. Isaac's feast came from when they weaned him off the breast and they had a feast. When he got circumcised, they had a feast, which would be Pentecost, first fruits, because he was the first one of Abraham. And Passover was when Abraham sat down with Melchizedek and sipped on a little red bubbly. Just a little red.
What did you say with Abraham when he met him with angels? They had like bread and wine?
They sat down to eat, but he had already had that feast with Melchizedek at that point.
So that was the Sodom. When they came, what you talking about? He had already fought with the nations.
Yeah, he had already knocked off Sodom and Gomorrah. King of Sodom, he had already murked all of them. We didn't look at the war with them. That's when he came back. So let's go back to the 3rd verse of 1 Kings chapter 8.
It said, and all the elders of Yasharal came, and the priests took up the ark, and they brought up the ark of Yahuwah in the tabernacle of the congregation.
Pause. What's the tabernacle of the congregation? That's the body. That's the body. That's the body. You know how we gonna link that? Give me Matthew 24 and 29. Because it said the priest brought up at the tabernacle of the congregation, right? Who would be the priest with Yahusha in this instance? We already read that too. You might not realize it because it didn't say priest plainly, but you shall see. Matthew 24 and 29.
That would be the one for the Lord.
No?
That would be the priest.
You finna see? Go ahead, get it to me.
You said 24 and 29?
Yep.
Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light,
and the stars shall fall from Shamahim, and the power of Shamahim shall be shaken. And then shall there appear the sign of the Son of Man in Shamahim, and all the tribes of the earth shall mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of Shamahim with power and great esteem.
Great esteem.
And he shall send his Malachim.
He'll send who?
His Malachim.
He'll send who?
His Malachim.
And what they'll do?
With the great sound of the trumpet.
And what they gonna do?
They shall gather together his elect from the four winds.
So they gonna gather the tabernacle of the congregation and bring it up then. So it's the Malachim who are his priests in that instance. Where did we read that at? We read that in Revelation 19 when the angel told John, see thou do it not. I'm a servant and a prophet and of the brethren. Because he a priest too. The angels are priests just like anybody else. They're no different. You notice he told him that quick. He told him he was a fellow servant. Didn't he tell you he made you kings and priests by his blood? That angel literally told John, I'm your brother and a fellow servant. And the priests are, and guess where all the Malachim at in Shamahim? In the tabernacle ministering. So guess what? Solomon is the one who lead the show right here, right? And the priest the one bring everybody up. And you remember, you see that tabernacle of the congregation, that's the body of the house, or the house of his body. The priest bring them up. Because the Malachim are going to be the one gathering Yahusha up, gathering his people up. Don't gather them up, bring them to the house. That's what he just said. And help it execute judgment. I got some over here to gather my people up. I got some over here to kill. We're going to get it in. We're going to get it in.
Doing all that in the law.
And you see them doing all that in the law. Because whether you realize it or not, them Levites were stone cold killers.
Ministering in the tabernacle.
Ministering in the tabernacle. Because guess what? When Moses said, who on Yahuwah's side, who stood up to ride? Yeah, Levites stood up to ride. Them boys were killers. Stone cold killers.
And when them boys was out there fighting with in that battle.
Who were riding?
They were fighting for the ark.
Who went up in Samuel?
Yeah.
Who went to fight the Philistines for that ark? It was Levi.
Yeah. They weren't supposed to take it out there.
They weren't supposed to take it out there, but they went. They fought. So you see how that worked? When he say the priests bring up the tabernacle of the congregation and all the Kadesh vessels that were in the tabernacle, even those did the priests, the Levites bring up. And the vessels in the tabernacle. So everybody that's in the body of Yahusha, the Malachim will gather them up and bring them up. What are they bringing them up to? They bringing them up to Zion. They bringing them up to Jerusalem. Give me Luke chapter 12 real quick.
Okay.
12 and 37.
I like that.
Now I had to do this here because we did it last night. I ain't going a lot of detail though.
Malachim being priest.
Yeah, they definitely priests.
It said, Baruch are the servants in whom the master, when he comes, shall find watching.
Find what?
Watching.
See that again? We done dealt with that before. That man have told you too many times to watch and be ready.
Verily I say unto you that he shall gird himself and make them to sit down to meat, and will come forth to serve and serve with them. Serve them.
Serve them.
Serve them.
You ain't seen too many kings that'll come gather you up and then come serve you something to eat. This his supper. And he gonna say, I'm gonna serve you at my supper. That's something right up. I'm gonna serve you at my supper. Because you served him first. But guess what? He served you first. So since you reciprocated the service back unto me from the service that I offered unto you, I feel it's only right that I come back and serve you on the back end.
That service back upon you again.
But guess what? And guess what else he told you? What else he told you? Another reason why I wouldn't bow down to a nigga. He told you in Revelation 3 and 9, he'll make these people come down and bow down and kiss your feet so you'll know that he loves you. Bow down to no man. I'm going to wait till he make the people bow down. That's why I be tripping on the nigga when they had these people bow down kissing their boot. You stupid bastard.
Who is you? Wicked.
Wicked nigga. You a man. Dust and ashes. Had nobody bow down kiss. I'm talking about, I seen the dude I done seen dudes have their wife bow down. I wouldn't dare have, man, woman, get on your feet. That go both ways now. I wouldn't turn around and say I ain't going to bow down to my wife and let her do it. Don't you dare bow down. You stand on your feet. I'm not your God. You don't worship me? Are you insane? Do you know what I'm saying? No, that's not cool. We godly people. We stand on our feet. You know what I'm saying? Now, don't bow down to nobody. You ain't the king of Yasharal, so I ain't bowing down to you. You're not my Elohim, so I ain't bowing down to you. When I used to see dudes throw themselves on the mercy of the court, not me. Throw my mercy on this cracker. Go ahead and give me what you're going to give me and send my boy. I came in here standing up like a man. I'm going to walk out of here like one.
Didn't you draw that shackle up?
Oh, them niggas don't literally fall down on their knees. Some of them niggas might. But when they say throw yourself on the mercy of the court, you just asking him to sentence me and have mercy on me. Never that. Never that. That means you ain't win a trial, took a plea bargain or nothing. Never that. Whatever you gonna give me, you gonna have to give it to me. Straight up and down, you gonna have to give it to me. I already told you, boy, they go to talk about 30 years. I ain't taking 30 years. I ain't taking 30 years. You gotta give me 30 years. You know what I'm saying? You think I'm gonna sign my name to 30 years? Happily sign it. Go ahead and give me them 30 cards. I feel. Give it to me. I did it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I be thinking about? This is a kid in my head, right? I think about it from time to time. A nigga be like, free my homeboy, right? Some of these niggas gonna be walking. Some of these niggas be walking around here talking about free they people. No, they going to hell. He watching down on me. I know I'm gonna see him again. He in heaven. Now don't free that nigga. Let him go to hell. I'll be the first one to toss him in there too. You make it all the way to the end, your soul get preserved. Who you want me to toss, sir? I'll toss him. Gladly. I'll toss my own mammy if I had to. Who, boy, if I'd have made it all the way to the end, who is my family now? I care less about all that stuff. Who ties to whom to win? Toss that nigga in that lake.
And if you born again, you ain't the seed of your people nowhere.
In no way. I'm the seed of Elohim. I'm no longer of this family line. Shoot, I'm just saying this here using an extreme example to give you perspective. That's the perspective. You get born again, you are no longer the seed of your family, natural seed. You the household of Elohim at this point. And I'm sitting there telling you that like it's here, right? Would you want y'all to free somebody from hell for you? When they earn their way to hell? Because if you went to prison 95% of the time, and it could be 90, because it is innocent people in there. Let's not get it twisted. There's people in there who ain't did nothing. You know what I'm talking about? No, most niggas who in prison, don't free that nigga. Let him stay right where he at. Because he did what he did. And you got to suffer the consequences for what you do. See, that's what people don't want, is the consequences for what you do. There's consequences for whatever you do, whether they be positive or whether they be negative. And you can't look for a positive outcome with negative decisions. You're going to get a negative consequence.
And that's unjust for you.
And it's most definitely unjust.
Because that's what they deserve.
That's what they deserve. And that's a false balance.
You don't want righteous judgment to go forward.
Because that's your mama. That's your best friend. That's your old lady. That's your son. Let that wicked bastard burn. I'll put extra gasoline on that nigga. Okay, Eugene. It's okay, Eugene. Come on, Eugene. Come on.
I don't trust you.
Thank you, Abigail. Come on, man. Well, I got you.
Lou.
Yeah, Lou. Finish that, Lou. Come on, Gail.
Lou. We're at 38.
Verse 38.
It's saying, if he shall come in the second watch or come in the third watch and
The
find
third
them,
watch? The third watch.
and find them so, bereaved are those servants. And this note, that if the good man of the house had known what hour the thief would come, he would have watched.
If he would have what?
If he would have
If you'd have known when he would come, you'd have been doing what?
watched.
You'd have been ready. Come on.
And that not have suffered his house to be broken into. But ye therefore ready also, for the Son of Man cometh at any hour when ye think not.
When you don't think he coming.
And Peter said unto him, Master, speakest thou this a parable unto us, or even at all, even to all? And the master said, who then is this faithful and wise steward, whom his master shall make ruler?
Does anybody know what Paul say a steward must be?
Found faithful.
He got to be faithful. The reason why a lot of people don't end up getting the Ruach, because they haven't been found to be faithful yet. If he finds you faithful, he'll give it to you. Because he ain't sitting here with the Ruach dangling it over your head like a piece of meat, tempting you and playing with you. He got it like this here. I want to give it to you, but I can't trust you with it. Because you don't even trust yourself. You know, he told you if you ain't been faithful in the unrighteous mammon, who will commit to your trust the true riches? If you can't even be faithful with the stuff of this life, why would he give you the riches of on high? Why would he do that? He told you in Luke also that it's your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. It's your who's pleasure. It's his good pleasure. He finds it honorable, just, and good to give you that. That's what he want to do. But there has to be a level of faith and an executed amount of discipline and consistency in order to get it. And a willingness to sanctify yourself from any and everything that is contrary to him. And I think that last part is, but more than anything, probably be people's biggest hang up is that sanctification. And when and the part we read last night in Luke 14, and that's forsaking everything and taking up that state. You know what I'm talking about? Because I can clearly say that everybody in this room has things in this life that they would like to do. But if you had to go after the Lamb and you had to forsake him and turn your back on him, would you do it? You know what I'm saying? Because that's what he did. See, at the end of the day, you can't tell me nothing about you can try to do this and try to do that and fit that in with the word, because Yahushua walked away from his throne in Shamahim for our sake and became a man and took on the ultimate amount of disrespect that any merciful, just, and humble servant could ever take, was beaten and killed. He could have stayed in Shamahim like, I ain't going down there to die for them niggas. I got stuff up here I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do this and do that. I ain't got time to be fooled up with them niggas. He didn't do that. So you can't tell me you can't, if you ain't willing to forsake or walk away from anything or anyone in this life, just like he told you, you're not fit to be his disciple and you're not going to make it. You have to be willing to do that. You have to. There ain't no, that's non-negotiable. Because how many of us can say, I walked away from heaven? Nobody in this room can say, I walked away from heaven. I actually made myself less than what I was and volunteered to do it. I could have stayed up here. Because, you know, I got things up here could have did. Who gonna watch the angels, Daddy? Who gonna watch them? He could have came up with a million excuses why he couldn't forsake everything he had. But he did it, though. That's why he can tell us to do the same thing. And if we don't do it, then we won't be worthy of him. Ain't nothing in this life worth keeping that'll take you to hell. Nothing. Ain't nothing you want to do worth going to hell for. If something you want to do interferes with the word, then guess what got to go? What's interfering with the word? Not trying to work it around the word. That's wicked. And that's faithless. You don't try to work your life around the word. If the word stop it, it's got to go. That means it was never meant for you no way. Period. Because you could get to that point where y'all say, give it to him. He'll do you like Ahab. Give it to him. And send 5 niggas around there to tell him it's all right for them to do it. You know what I'm talking about? So you can go up to Ramoth Gilead and get killed. Dead serious. That's what he wanted, right? So he gave it to him. Oh, you want to go to Ramoth Gilead? Go on up. Let him have it. Because what you want to do is interfering with the word, Ahab. Because my word said, don't you go up there fooling with them people. You said, I want to go anyway. I want to be great. Say, cool, you be great. Send a line spirit to them niggas. Have 400 people tell that nigga to go up there and do it. You got to be careful with that. Because that interfered with the word. Guess what? Yahushua didn't want to die. His dying was going to interfere with the word. But guess what he didn't do? He didn't go off and do what he wanted to do. So I guess I got to die then. I would care not to. Guess I got to go. What did he tell that man when he said, let me go back and bury my family? Let the dead bury the dead. He said, if you put your hand to the plow looking back, he said, you're not fit to the kingdom of Elohim. Leave that stuff back there where it's at. Because once you make a decision to serve y'all, everything you want to do in your life is irrelevant at that point. It's irrelevant. Now you said, I'm chasing the lamb. I took up my stake and I'm following him. You can't follow the lamb doing what you want to do at the same time. If he sacrificed, you got to sacrifice. That don't mean you can't fulfill no dreams or passions or this, that, that, and the third. But if it's going to interfere with your service to Elohim, that means you can't do that. You can, but you may lose your soul. And you have to ask yourself, is that activity, was that worth it? Like, is there any, like we can say, is there anything worth going to hell? And everybody say no, but then we turn around and do stuff to show that we're liars, that clearly we feel like this is worth going to hell for. Because we participate in that activity or we make that move. There is nothing in this life, there is no one in this life worth going to hell for. You were not put on this life to do what you wanted to do. You were put on here to serve the living Elohim and to bring esteem to his name. He said for you to fear Elohim and keep his commandments, that's your whole purpose for being here. You serve no other purpose than that. But this society makes you fulfill your life, achieve your dreams, and that stuff is good when you're not a servant of the living Elohim. If you're a servant of the living Elohim, your dream should be to enter into his kingdom. Do you know what I'm talking about? That should be your number one priority in life. Before any business, before any marriage, before any kids, before any trip, before anything you can buy, before anything you can come up with, that should be your number one desire. Let's say, what good is it to take a trip to Aruba, but you don't get to Zion at the end? What good was that trip? You know what I'm saying? What good is it to buy the most fine linen outfit you could purchase from the most exclusive designer and mall in the world, but don't get the fine linen, which is the righteousness of the Kadeshim? What good was that? What good is it to buy the best meat money could buy, but then you don't get the meat that comes from the land which leads to eternal life? What good was that? So we talking about perspective and weighing it out, and you can make the choice that you want to make, and you can do what you want to do. But if you don't make it to where you say you want to be, you know full well it was your fault you didn't get there. You ain't going to be able to be like, they cheated me, bro. They cheated me. You cheated yourself. Go ahead, man. I think we good with that. Come on back to 1 Kings chapter 8. We in verse 5. Absolutely, you know. Hey, he said like this here, right? It's easier for a camel to go. And I had something for that, though. With that sheep, because he talking about something, because you know there's a sheep gate in our land. They had a gate for the sheep, and it was real narrow what they walked through. That's why he tell you enter in at the straight gate, because that's the sheep gate. See, I was going to deal with the sheep today, but y'all knows what deal with it. Next week. It's not this week yet. It's next week. Y'all willing? What's up?
I was doing something.
Yeah, all right. That's what you think I sent the word to you for. Please, this sent you sheep and shepherd. That came for something that D asked me. You know what I'm saying? And then I touched it last night. But I ain't going no detail. But that gate for them sheep real tight.
That sheep gate is down too.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the sheep gate also in Nehemiah. Well, they built a few things. That sheep gate real tight. Ain't enough room but nothing for the sheep to walk through there. Not another animal can get through there. That's why he said it's harder for a camel to go through the camel can't walk through the sheep gate. It's too tight for him. He gonna break it. He can't make it through. See that gate, that sheep gate ain't for everybody. See, because I was going to talk about lost sheep and what it means to be lost. Because the word for lost in Hebrew means to be destroyed or to be perished. So when he say he came for the lost sheep of the house of Yasharal, he said he was coming for the dead. Because you niggas dead. We surely done perished. When you see, that's why I asked all about the Ruach and things of this nature. If you know you don't have that, you ain't got no business chilling. You ain't got no business fulfilling nothing in life. Because nigga, you a dead man walking. You leave here, you going to hell. You ain't got no business feeling comfortable kicking your feet up and you know you going to hell. That should scare the living daylights out of you. Like, boy, I got to tighten up. I got to do better. I got to get whatever's in my heart out the way. I must be saved. It's all about just changing the shift in mindset and perspective. Because your mindset is what stops you from achieving anything. If you have a mindset that's negative in business, your business won't be successful. If you have a mindset of negativity when you're dealing with your relationships with people, whether it's friends, whether it's your significant other, whether it's your family, whether it's your kids, then that's what you're going to manifest and produce. If you have a negative mindset when it comes to putting away a sin in the service of Elohim, then you will not be able to achieve that. If you change your perspective, why you think the book keep telling you, let this mind be in you and renew the Ruach of your mind? Because he's telling you to change your mindset. Change the way that you think. When you change, don't the book say as a man think he what? So the way that you think is going to dictate the way that you operate. What did he tell you about this here? He say, man, the evil, he say a man is not defiled from what he put in, but what come out because of the evil thoughts of the heart. So the thoughts and the mindset that you possess is what dictates what you do. That's why I say your character can be changed, because your character is what you do. And what you do is based off of your thoughts. You change your thoughts, you change what you do. Just that simple. Last one of us in here doesn't live Some people may be still doing things they ain't got no business, and some may not. That's not the point. The point is, some of you were way worse than what you was before you knew anything about a Yahuwah. And the things that you ceased from doing, why did you cease from doing them? Because you changed the way that you thought. Once you change the way that you think, you change what you do. If you stay thinking the same, what do people always say? When you know better, what? You do better, right? That means you changing the way that you think. You have to change the way that you think. If you don't change the way that you think, you will not change your character. Your personality you can't change, and nor should you. Be who you are, but change how you think. Go ahead, verse 5.
And King Solomon and all the congregation of Yasharal that were assembled unto him were with him before the ark, sacrificing sheep and oxen that could not be told or numbered for the multitude.
And see, we talked about that last night, right? Look at verse 6.
It said, and the priest brought in the ark of the covenant of Yahuwah unto his place, unto the oracle of the house, and the most Kadash place, even under the wings.
So they brought it into the set apart place. Revelation 21, so we can get out here and let's see what that is. It's just something to consider, you know. Revelation 21:1. That's all it is, but that's with the word, that's why he said to lay it on your heart. Because if you change the way that you think, you will change what you do. If you remain and continue to think the same, you will continue to do this. That's why they say insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. This is why I say certain things. I might clown about to be serious, but certain things culturally that these people do and impress upon us, I'm not on that. I just had a white man get mad with me the other night because he talking about Trump this and Trump that. And I'm like, what do you think about illegal immigrants? I don't. You wouldn't care if a legal immigrant took your job. I wouldn't know he was a legal immigrant. So what I care for? You know what I'm saying? The little agreement, I say that. See, I say what you doing is you thinking like a loser. See, losers blame people for their shortcomings and their fault. It's always somebody else's fault. Legal immigrants, why I ain't got this job at McDonald's? You ain't got this job at McDonald's because you can't flip burgers properly. You know what I'm saying? You can't show up to work on time. But these white people, you don't never hear no black man complain about the immigrants done took his job. You hear a black man saying this cracker won't give me one.
Yeah, we the main one need.
Made one need. Because who you see at McDonald's all the time? A bunch of black people. White people don't dare want to work at McDonald's. Because they'll turn around in the same breath and say the Mexican taking all the jobs and then say the Mexican doing the jobs that don't nobody want. So cracker, what you complaining for? You don't want to frame no houses. So let that man frame his houses. I don't care nothing about Manuel, how he got over here. What that got to do with me?
Manuel.
Care nothing about Manuel. You know what I'm
That's how I feel too.
Then he talking about America was built on justice and equity. I say, no, sir. America was built on raping, robbing, and pillaging. I'm getting out of the car. You're getting 1 star. Well, start up then, nigga. Start up. They don't change the fact, nigga. You forgot about manifest destiny, nigga. Did you forgot about cutting off the Indians' breasts and using them as tobacco pouches and giving them diseases of which you talking about? So I guess Christopher Columbus was a rapist too, of the highest order. What do you mean? Have you ever read a book other than what they gave you in school? Christopher Columbus was a deplorable human being. He got mad though. He was mad. I said, I don't care nothing about you being mad. I ain't finna lie to you. I don't care nothing about no illegal immigrants. I said, you know what I told him? This is what I really told him. I said, you let a man who you never met influence your emotions and cause you to react in the way that he wanted you to react by inflaming you with certain rhetoric, and you was too stupid and simple to realize that was what he was doing. That you are never supposed to allow an individual to dictate how you react. You know what I'm saying? Never. Just like he mentioned before, you could be angry because the book tell you be angry and sin not. You could be angry, sad, and all that, but you don't never let nobody dictate your actions based off your emotions. That means you don't have no control over yourself. And another person has control over you, because I can dictate how you react because I know what dance, puppet dance. What you think Monique was trying to do with that boycott thing? Whether she was right or wrong, she was trying to manipulate your emotions to get you to react in the way that she wanted you to react. You know what I'm saying? But it's worked in other instances though. Her attempt may have not worked, but many other people have done it and it worked. With lasting impressions. Yeah. Because that's why I would you never make decisions based off emotions. Never. You'll make the wrong choice every time. Every single solitary time. You'll make the wrong choice. Okay. Go ahead, man.
And 21:1.
It said, and I saw new Shamahim and new Arats, for the first Shamahim and the first Arats were passed away, and there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the Kadesh city, New Jerusalem, coming down from Elohim out of Shamahim, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband.
Yep.
And I heard the voice out of Shamahim saying, behold, the tabernacle of Elohim is with men.
Then we just see how he said to bring that tabernacle up to Solomon. It's up there with men.
And he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and Elohim himself shall be with them, and be their Elohim.
Don't y'all remember in that prayer that Solomon prayed, he said, well, Elohim indeed dwell on earth. Shamahim and Shamahim cannot contain thee. How much less than this house? Go ahead.
It said, and Elohim shall wipe away all the tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away.
Everything's passed away.
And he that sat upon the throne said, behold, I make all things new.
He make all things what?
New.
Make all things what?
New.
Go ahead.
And he said unto me, write, for these words are true and faithful. And he said unto me, it is done. I am the Aleph and the Tav, the beginning of the end, and I will give unto him.
So if he the Aleph and the Tav, Stanley, what is it? He the head of the covenant. He the head of the covenant. Would take us back to what? That mercy seat or that copper ref, that Kaf, that pay, that Rosh, and that Tav. Cause even with Rosh and Aleph, they the same thing. And you remember, you need to go to the mercy seat to find help in what? Time of need. And we looking at how they brought that covenant up into that temple to place it there. And that's what we see in Revelation. Because he said the tabernacle of Elohim will dwell with men. The house of Elohim will dwell with man. Elohim himself will come dwell with man. And for order for us to dwell with him, then what do we need to do? We need to take that table of stone, that luach, learn to be that sacrifice of separation, take that Aaron, that strength of the head, and the sacrifice that leads to life, to be a part of that covenant. Lay it up in your heart. I guarantee you, you lay it up in your heart, your judgment and your discernment will be impeccable. It'll be impeccable. There ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about that. It's going to be impeccable. Because he said that strong meat. See, when you're a baby, you can't get the ruach yet because you're still on breast milk. So you haven't exercised enough word to know the difference between good and evil. So you wouldn't be able to spot somebody who wasn't of the word versus somebody who was. You wouldn't be able to spot them. If you exercised yourself and you used it, you're going to be able to see and notice things that other people may not see or notice. You know what I'm saying? And then you could be, and I guarantee you, you'll have more godly friends. And if you ain't married, you'll have a godly mate because they'll be able to identify you and you'll be able to identify them. Because I guarantee you, you know what Yahusha did. You know what Yahuwah did. My wife was wicked, so I came up with a plan to make her righteous. He ain't going to marry no wicked Philistine. He ain't gonna marry no wicked Canaanite. I gotta come up with a plan to make her righteous. Because my first wife was righteous, that would be Abraham. Then he gave me a righteous, and then there was another righteous one came out of that. That was Isaac. Then he shot me Jacob. I said, there's some righteous men, there's some just men. I love my wife. She stand up, boy. She clean with it too. But after a while, we became a whore. So he said, I gotta come up with a plan to make her right. That's why I told you before, that's why they didn't recognize him when he came. Because they saw sin in themselves. So there was no way they were going to see righteousness in him. If you see sin, if you got sin in yourself, then that's what you're going to see in a godly person. You're not going to see the righteousness in it because you don't see it in yourself. Go ahead. But drop down to verse 23, actually. Or 24.
It said, and the nations of them which are saved shall walk in the light of it, and the Malachim of the rocks do bring their esteem and honor unto it. And the gates of it shall not be shut at all by day, for there shall be no night there.
No night.
And they shall bring the esteem and honor of the nations into it, and there shall in no wise enter in it anything that defileth, neither whatsoever worketh abomination or maketh a lie, but they which are written in the Lamb's book of life.
Did we read that he the temple of it already?
Yeah.
We'll read that verse again.
When he said he would bring the temple down.
Yeah, in Revelation. Yeah, so that's what I thought I went too long. Give me 21. That's what I thought.
21.
No, I'm talking about verse 21.
My bad. It's saying the 12 gates were 12 pearls. Every several gate was of one pearl, and the street of the city was pure gold, as it were transparent glass.
Yeah.
And I saw no temple therein.
He saw no what?
No temple therein.
Why?
For Yahuwah Al Shaddai, the Lamb, are the temple of it.
That's why. And if they the temple of it, then all. And we dealt with this in the past, but we gonna do it again because we looking at the law. Everything that's in the temple will be in the land and is represented in the Father and the Son. So there wouldn't be no need for. Because again, what did he say? It's a temple made with what? Our hands. So all the vessels will be vessels made without hands. Because if it's made with hands, guess what it is? It's corruptible. It's carnal. That's why we look at the difference between the first Adam and the second Adam. He was made without hands, but he was made from a corruptible surface. Do you know what I'm saying? But hallelujah for Yahushua. We stop right there though.